Hello and welcome back to Actually Let's Talk About It with me, your host Lily. And today we are going to continue the reactions for DPR IAN's music video. I am going to react to 3 music videos of his that I have not seen here. So the first one is Welcome to the Show, the official Mito premiere. And then the next one is Nerves. And then the final one will be Scaredy Cat, the official music videos for both Nerves and Scaredy Cat. So we're going to look at those. But I do want to also just point out some comments that were made in the last video that I did on the first 2 DPR IAN music videos that I reacted to on the channel. So it was for the So Beautiful and the No Blueberries. So big shout out to Christian Lovely and D Humbly. Like, y'all really came through with the information. Because I did know that DPR did stand for Dream Perfect Regime, but I did not know that there were other people. So like I didn't know about DPR Live, DPR Cream, or DPR Rem. So big shout out to D Humbly for commenting that here, and also recommending CL's 5-star music video. I still haven't watched it yet, but finding out that So Beautiful and 5-star storylines are connected makes me want to. So I'm gonna get on to that relatively soon, okay? And then also shout out to Christian Lovely because they did mention that DPR IAN is the director of his music videos. So I'm like, no wonder, okay? No wonder. And then also let me know that there is the character Mito, and then Christian himself, which is DPR IAN's real name, and then Mr. Insanity. And then Christian Lovely also said that Mito represents like his lowest moments, and then Mr. Insanity represents some manic highs. So that makes sense. So I'm loving that that was said here and the description was given. So that's awesome. And then there were also comments about, they also did comment in for Christian Lovely that DPR IAN does also have, in addition to his bipolar disorder, DID as well. And I don't even know how I picked up on that, in that between watching So Beautiful and No Blueberries, I have no idea how I picked up on that. Like, it just seemed like that's what he was trying to say without saying it. And I'm a person that likes to read between the lines a lot of what people say. So that's probably why I was able to pick up on that. Or that he was given off in both of the songs and in the storyline of the music video. So that's the only reason why I came up to the deduction that, or is it the deduction or the assumption or the hypothesis, I'm gonna call it a hypothesis, that he was talking about DID a little bit in those 2 music videos. So that is interesting, because I did also, like, after I watched those 2 music videos, I did just like research this man. Like, I just went into a deep dive into who is DPR IAN. I didn't like listen to any of the other music videos because I still want to react to those. And I didn't listen to any albums, but I did like just look at his interviews. And then I was like, okay, because I do know how in interviews you are in a state of professionalism. So you do know what questions are going to be asked, so you have time to prepare your answers. And then they're also vetted questions by like your publicist or your people. So they won't be asking anything that you don't want them to ask as well in their interviews. So it was like, let me see this man's lives. And then I saw one of the lives that he did this month, like a few weeks ago. And he did talk about his DID in that live and his bipolar disorder. So I do know that he did have bipolar disorder since he was in his teens, I do believe. And then he said the DID was 10 years ago that he found out that that is what he also had. And I'm like, wow, because for DID, it is kind of hard to pinpoint that somebody has it from a, like, I believe like a psychiatrist kind of a perspective. You have to have like run multiple like scenarios. And I do know that one of the main ways in treating DID is talk therapy. So you have to be talking to someone for quite a while to even pick up on any signs that they do have DID. So I'm like, okay. But I do love how he was very like, he was able to be comfortable enough to reveal that. And I think that's really saying a lot about his fan base and how comfortable he feels with everybody because that's not always the easiest thing to admit to. Because, there are some negative connotations, and I never really understood why. Even in my research of DID, why there was sometimes a negative connotation attached to it. I never got that, and I still don't see it as a negative thing, nor do I see any other form of they call it it's typically called they call it mental illness, and I don't like the way that that's done, but it's it's English, so that's let's say that's the way that you call it. I still don't like that either, but or anything that goes on with you psychologically that is not what they would define as neurotypical. So yeah, I prefer neurotypical better than the other one. So I'm yeah, but I'm really proud of what he said in that live, because I tried to find it all, but I just found I think 10 minutes of it. But he said a lot there, and it was really eye-opening. And I'm I really respect the work that he does. Because I was when I saw So Beautiful and No Blueberries, I was I really respect what he is standing for, what he is showcasing, and how honest he is in his music and in his writing. And I'm you don't see a lot of artists like that. You just don't, because it can kind of be hard to be that honest, to be that open. And he seemingly does it with ease, but I do know it takes a lot of courage and I'm glad he has the support of his fans and the community around him to be his authentic self in whichever form that may be, because I'm really down for him now. Okay, so I've been a fan since I saw both of the music videos, but I'm yeah, this is the kind of artist that is vital. It's vital. I believe DPR IAN is one of those artists that are vital, because we need more honesty in music. We need people to talk about real things, and this is definitely a real thing that affects more people than we might even realize. So I'm yeah, I love what he stands for. I love what he is representing, and I love the visibility he is giving people who are going through the same thing. So yeah, so that's my little spiel. I might have done a little bit too much in the intro, but yeah, I'm really loving what he's giving us and all the different variations of himself that he's showing to us. So that is just really wonderful to see, to me. So yeah, but I am going to get into the welcome to the show. But before we get into the welcome to the show, we're just going to do our patron shout outs. So the first patron shout out does go out to Genoveva. The second patron shout out does go out to Audrine. The third patron shout out does go out to Avery. And then the fourth and final patron shout out does go out to Clover Me. And I want to thank y'all so much for your support on the Patreon and also the subscribers on the YouTube channel. Thank y'all for your support on the YouTube channel. It really does mean the world to me as well. But yeah, y'all, we are going to get into DPR IAN's Welcome to the Show, the Mito premiere, and just see what it's going to give. Oh.
Just stay for the show. No candlelights to take you home. You tried bringing out the sunny times. You're not really good at telling lies. So sick of keeping it all in. I just want you to stand for the door.
Okay. Like, that was an introduction. Because I do know that from one of the it was either an interview or a live, but I believe it's pronounced Mido or Mito. Pretty sure it's Mido though. But it stands for Mood Swings in this order. And I do know that that is the title of his EP. So I'm like, But the vocals on this man, like I knew DPR IAN was a singer, but like, yeah. I need to get into this man's albums very, very soon because the talent is here. But the way, like, there were so many things to analyze in just that short teaser he gave us. But I'm going to save it until after I watch the Nerves music video. Because that, like, because like the character that he was portraying here, it seems like it wasn't Mido and it wasn't Mr. Insanity either. It just seemed like it was just him. It just seemed like it was just him there. But I'm not sure. So I'm going to just watch the Nerves music video and just see from there. Because I still got questions. Who's I?
Hey girl, I heard you leaving town. Hey girl, it might not matter now. Hey girl, maybe it worked somehow. That's what I tell myself when you lie down tonight. So many times I could have held on. I still can't believe I let you all on. It tore me down to pieces. You'll never know how much I wished I never let you go. Hi, how you doing? I heard you seem to be happy now. Hi, how you doing? Don't worry about me, cause I'm doing fine. So you came around my house and you left your marks with your fingertips. I'm sitting where you sat down, and now he's looking for something meaningless. I'm getting a little nervous. I'm getting to the surface. I'm getting a little nervous. I'm getting to the surface. Hi, how you doing? I heard you seem to be happy now. Hi, how you doing? Don't worry about me, cause I'm doing fine. 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 Girl, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Swear it's not a lie. I'm doing fine. Girl, I'm doing fine. I'm doing fine. Swear it's not a lie. I'm getting little nervous. I'm getting to the surface. I'm getting little nervous.
okay, like there was a lot. There was a lot said because he was singing as himself, and then I think he was singing as Mito as well in this particular song. And it's very much giving like the song is an apology song to somebody that he may have been romantically linked to, going by the lyric content of it in the music video storyline. And yeah, especially when he said I loved you and then he said he loved you. And I'm like, oh, okay. So that is Mito saying that. He's saying as himself, I loved you, and then the other personality is saying he loved you. And I'm like, oh, okay. Because it can be, relationships are hard enough just in general. But we are also going through times and periods, and there are sometimes when people have DID. And even when you have bipolar disorder, there are some times when you lose recollection of time and events. Like, you can be, let's say, for instance, I'm in front of this camera, and then let's say the next thing that I remember is a week from now, and like I'm downstairs in my house, and I'm like, what happened while that period of time went by that I can't recall. And I'm like, and so when you're dealing with things like that, it's hard to juggle a romantic relationship, or it can be hard. It's not impossible, but it can be a little bit harder than it would generally be to juggle it, because you're still trying to have a way, because I think like as human beings, we like to be in control. But when you have things like you have bipolar disorder and you have DID, those are things that prevent you from being in control. And especially when you grow up like in the West, like I know he's from Australia. It's not the West exactly, but the ideologies could be similar. And then just in general, not just the West, but in anywhere, you just want to be in control, like feel like you are the driver in your life. But with bipolar disorder, even sometimes with medication, you could feel like you are the passenger. And with DID, especially from what I've researched about it in the past, and then what I've like looked at recently, you could feel not only like you are the passenger, but like you are a passenger who cannot see and cannot hear what the driver is doing. And in that regard, yeah, you could be that can make you nervous. That can be a stressor, especially when you're going through DID and bipolar. Like I do know for bipolar disorder, there are sometimes manic states where you're really, really high, where you're really, really low. And while you're going through that, you also have sometimes you'll know, you can from what I've read, some people can tell when they are about to go into the other personality. And then some people, it just happens abruptly. So there is that. And there's just so many layers to that. We can go all day and all night about it, but I just really think there's something about his writing. DPR IAN really writes well the way that he feels and the message that he wants to say in songs. And he really explained it well to where you got exactly what he was saying. And he just has a way of delivering it so excellently. So I'm like, that's what really sets him apart as well. So like I could go on and on about nerves and all of the different things, but I don't want to ramble. So I'm gonna just cut it off there. But I can see how keeping a relationship the way that you want it to be, and then like what he said, I'm doing fine. Like we always say that, like just in general, everybody just says that, like I'm doing fine. Even if you sometimes aren't, because you don't want people to worry. And I'm like, because I used to have a habit of doing that. I'm like, I did not like people worrying about me. So I'm like, I'm fine. I'm fine. I'm fine. So what he kept saying in that song, I'm like, yeah, that is a sign that we are not fine. I'm like, the fact that we have to keep saying it, because like there's this thing when if I keep saying something enough times, it'll be true. And with people, with human beings, like we say things at least 3 times, then that'll cement it as our truth because it'll convince our brain that that's what it is, even when it's not. And I'm like, yeah. So saying I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine, I'm fine. You know, and you say it with finality that, you know, even when you're not fine, you know, you can trick your brain into thinking that you are. And I'm like, the brain is unique. It's unique. And technically, according to scientists, we only use 10% of it. So there's that whole 90% of our brain that we don't have any clue about. And I'm like, yeah, the human mind is a mystery, y'all. I'm like, it's a mystery. But I love how he basically said in the song that, like, this is for you because I loved you. And he said, I didn't notice that you were standing right there. And I'm like, I'm like that like, it was beautiful. It was beautiful. And, you know, and it was emotionally deep. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. I'm like, but Nerves is that song, okay? We're gonna get into the next song for Scaredy Cat.
Covering the horrific body. 6 years have passed by of the Devil's Diner. Railroad tracks. To say the suspect may be missing an eye.
Oh.
I think I'm scared of all the signs. Don't ever leave me alone at night. I think I'm scared, I don't know why. Just leave the lights on and close the blinds. Cause scaredy cat, please no more heart attacks. Scaredy cat, please no more heart attacks. I think I'm scared, I have no time. I scream out loud just to see if I'm alive. I think I'm scared, I don't know why. So leave the lights on and stay inside. Cause scaredy cat, please no more heart attacks. Cause scaredy cat, please no more heart attacks. Dial 911, I'm calling from under my bed. It's hard to breathe when you're not there. I find everything a nightmare. Sometimes I know you don't hear, but I feel like I'm disappearing in a hole. And nobody will know, nobody will go. Except when I'm with you, sitting in my room alone. And nobody will know, nobody will go. Except when I'm why does no one understand when I say I am just afraid? Why does no one lend a hand when I say I will drift away? There are clouds in the sky, and boys terrified, they might just rain on me. So I'm losing my mind, I think I'll be alright, just hold my hands, you'll see. Scaredy cat, please no more heart attacks. Scaredy cat, please no more heart attacks. I know that you think, scaredy cat, please no more heart attacks. Scaredy cat, please no more heart attacks.
Okay. And I think that might have been at the end, the introduction to Mr. Insanity. So, yeah. And then this is something else. Like, it was just like Scaredy Cat was something else. Like, he said a lot there. Like, there's so much to always unpack with DPR IAN songs, because it's coming from such a real place. Like, it's coming from things going on within his own mind. And then also, as Christian Lovely pointed out as well, some of the songs are recorded during like when he is Mito, and that's something else. So like what I saw there, and I'm just going by what I'm seeing, what I'm hearing him say in the lyrics for Scaredy Cat, is basically, it seems like he is at this point is Mito completely, and like the other him that's like in the straight jacket-esque get up is himself, and he's kind of like in his own mind, where like he's trying to maybe get back into being in the conscious control, and Mito's just like having a time. And I'm like, okay, that makes sense. That makes sense a lot, you know, a lot. And then like he did have a line in the song where, I want to find the line, hold on, like I'm like there was a line where he says, why does no one lend a hand when I say I will drift away? Like that like kind of stuck out to me the most here, just because like that part like like, you know, like there's just so many ways to interpret that line, but like that part especially is kind of like leaving an impression for me, just because, you know, with the mind, you know, like the mind is something that we don't always understand, and there are things that our mind will do to protect us from certain things that it doesn't think that we can, it doesn't feel that we can handle. And I'm like, and it's just the way that the mind works. So drifting in, when he said, why does no one lend a hand? And I'm like, ooh, because like, you know, I think the biggest question would be how to lend a hand in that situation. But, you know, there are some things that can sometimes ground you to where it'll be a bit harder for the other personality to emerge and have control, or can limit the amount of time that other personality has control. But it still depends on a variety of factors in that case. But like, he is saying a lot here, and I know that it's called Scaredy Cat, but it doesn't seem like he is true, like what he is saying that he's scared of. And I think it's what a lot of us are, is the ability of not having control. And I don't think that is really something to be scared. Like, it's not something that we're scared of. It's just something that doesn't make you feel the best. When you don't feel like you don't have control of a situation, it can kind of make you feel small. And I think that's what he's talking about, how sometimes you can feel small, because like he did have references both in this video and then in Nerves as well to the pill bottle. But it's also interesting how in this video and in the last video we saw him kind of like going through like the highs and the lows. We saw it in this video and we saw it in the last one kind of as well. But it looks like the events of the last music video in Nerves, where he was remembering the time of that previous romantic relationship and how he just wasn't in or he felt like, or like things just weren't aligning in that relationship, to where he had to kind of like prioritize himself a bit more than the relationship, and then it caused it to kind of end. how it kind of like triggered the Mito character or the Mito personality and caused him to have control. So like it's making a direct connotation that the nerves and the stress can bring out this personality as well. And I'm like, oh, that makes sense. That makes a whole heck of a lot of sense. And there's so much more to like that you can piece apart in this music video and in the lyrics as well. But I don't want to ramble too long, so I'm gonna kind of like end it in saying that the way that DPR IAN helps paint a picture about what it is like to go through bipolar disorder and DID is very vivid, even in its complex and simplistic at the same time. And it is not the easiest thing to talk about, and there's no right answer in these kind of discussions, because it is something that is constantly being learned more and more about by the people who actually do study it for a living and have like the degrees in it and have done all that jazz and that good stuff and that work to really find out what exactly is going on with individuals who are going through it. And I really will say again that I really love his openness in his lyrics, his honesty in his lyrics. Like there's some artists who are honest, but I don't think I've heard very many who are this honest. Not like this, because it's harder to talk about your mental health than anything else. Okay, like it's harder to talk about that than anything else, especially in BIPOC communities. And if you aren't familiar with the term BIPOC, I mean like Black, Indigenous, or other people of color communities. That's not always easy for us. You know, like there's a lot of the reasons why it's not always the easiest thing for us to discuss. And, you know, culture and generational gaps and religion and colonization can play a part in that as well. But, you know, I'm glad that he, as somebody who is Korean, is speaking on this, because there's a lot of people like who look like him and who don't look like him, but see him as someone that they can relate to, who are going to be able to find the strength in themselves that they could not find before. And I think that is really, really great. I think that that's great, because in his openness, in his honesty, people will find inspiration in it. They're like, well, he's going through exactly what I'm going through. You know, he said he has bipolar disorder, and he's being so open and honest about it. And he's letting me know that it's, you know, it may not always be perfect, but we're going to be able to get through it. And then somebody who has DID, who's watching him, is like, well, he just acknowledged that he has it a few weeks ago, and I got it. And so I'm like, now I can feel more at ease knowing that there's somebody that I'm watching that knows exactly what I'm going through and is singing about it and is being so open and honest about it. And that gives me the strength to know that, you know, I'm not alone. And I like that people that see it and are going through similar things, if not the same thing as him, are able to see him as inspiration, as somebody who understands what they're going through, and as someone who is not painting like this picture perfect picture that is not rooted in reality. Like he's not trying to glamorize anything. He's not trying to generalize anything. He's not trying to minimize what bipolar disorder looks like and what DID looks like. He is giving you the honest truth. And that's not always easy to do, but he manages to do it. And I'm really proud of what DPR IAN is doing. And this man can sing. This man has talent, okay? Like, and his lyrical content and his visuals and the way that he directs these videos is really, really amazing. And I'm really proud of him and hope the best for him. And I hope that, you know, he continues to know what an inspiration he is to people. And he continues to, you know, just make this amazing music that he makes and you know, keep being honest as he is right now, because it's really amazing to see. Yeah, and it's like making him probably one of my favorite artists now, because I'm like, I don't have very many favorite artists that, you know, that I say are my favorite like artists, because you know, if y'all know my channel, you know, like, you know, I like, you know, I like me some, you know, I love me some, like, some K-pop groups. Okay, there's some that I got favorites, and there's some other artists that I have never reacted to on this channel that I just adore as well. But yeah, he is one of my favorite artists at this point. I'm like, yeah, because we need more artists like him. We need people who are this honest about the trials and tribulations that you face, the way that your mental health can impact you. We need people to be honest about it, or we're not going to see the change that we want to see in people's attitudes towards it. And yeah, I'm gonna leave it there. And I'm like, because I respect everything that he's doing, because mental health is important, and especially young people. We need to see more people like DPR IAN who are so open and honest about what they're going through, and who are willing to shed a light into what a portion of what it is like. This is not the full capacity, this is just a portion of what it is like, but what a representation he is giving to people who thought that they were alone in it. So yeah, I'm gonna leave it there because I've been rambling a little bit. But yeah, y'all, that is my reaction to Welcome to the Show, the official Mito premiere, the Nerves music video, and the Scaredy Cat music video. Y'all, if there's anything that I missed, let me know in the comments. And if you got anything else to say, to add on to your 2 cents regarding the music videos, let me know as well. And yeah, I will see y'all in the next video. And also, if you are watching till the end of this video and you're watching on YouTube, I want to thank you so much if you are a subscriber on the channel for being a subscriber. And if you have yet to subscribe, do not forget to do so. And again, if you're watching this on Patreon, I want to thank you so much for being a patron. Your support is so very much appreciated. But yeah, y'all, until the next DPR IAN reaction, I will see you on the next one. Bye.